Welcome to the Wicked Radio Network.
Hello, Gotham City. We're the Maniacs, and I'm Jerome, the shot caller of our little gang. We're here to spread the message of wisdom and hope. Some people have no manners. You're all prisoners. What you call sanity is just a prison in your minds that stops you from seeing that you're just tiny little cogs in a giant, absurd machine. Wake up!
Recorded to you live from the dumpster behind Comic-Con. This is the Wicked Theory Podcast. This is the Wicked Theory Podcast. I'm your host. My name is Bill Sweeney. You guys, you might know my team I got here. I got Dom.
What's going on, folks?
And I got Brother Bob.
Hello, hello, hello.
And, you know, it's just us chilling, getting nerdy, getting wordy with the nerdy, freaky with the geeky, sporky with the dorky.
I think that's enough. I
enough?
think we've had enough of that.
I mean, yeah, okay. I'm not going with words either. No. I'm not going math, all words. So, welcome back, kids. You know, am I breaking the microphone rules already?
A little bit.
A little bit. I'm not coming in, not pounding. Isn't that
I don't know.
Okay. I was so comfortable right before I turned the mics on.
Were you?
I
couldn't
thought
tell.
I was. I guess I'm not anymore. Yeah, I'm over-modulating. All my rules. Dom's pointing out. I was like, you told us all this stuff.
He's telling me I got to be 3 fingers length from the mic before we started. Now he's off to the side.
I'm all like
hey
drunk.
Folks, how's it going? This is the Wicked Theory Podcast. Can you hear me? How's it going?
Drunk cat.
Just making out with the foam.
It's delicious.
The foam cover on the microphone.
So, all right. How you been? How's your life? How's things, Bob? Dom?
I'm doing well.
Yeah.
I'm doing well. How about you?
I'm all right. You?
Yeah.
It's all good? Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty good. Broke as always, but...
Oh, well,
pretty good.
yeah.
I wish there would have been some more Comic-Con news, though.
Yeah,
so
it was
far.
a little thin. I feel like it was thin. Like nothing.
Nothing really happened, man. San Diego was everything happened at San Diego.
I think the only thing that happened out there is like people got dressed up and they all hung out together. It's like, that's it.
Yeah,
Womp,
I think...
Womp. Now, there's a couple of bits and pieces, but it's just not the big, here's, 25, 30 news items that are like cool. There's a bunch of little stuff, but it's just like nothing big, nothing crazy major.
Well, I mean, there was a few things, but like you said, nothing crazy. We're going
to get to that. Yeah. So, you know what, let's, now that I'm all warmed up and I'm all hopped up, let's remind the kids that if you're enjoying this train wreck, to support it. Subscribe, rate, review on iTunes or any of those services that allow for that kind of nonsense. We'd appreciate that. And,
Please.
and if you're ever looking for other ways to hear the show, you can go to our website, wickedtheory.com, and, there's a list there of other places to find the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of podcasts,
whoa,
something else that I want to bring up is you guys know about it. I mean, you two in the room, but the other kids like out there in the world don't know. I don't think I brought it up. That I'm doing a 24-hour podcast live thing.
Whoa. What does this mean? What does that mean? Does that mean you're leaving me?
You've been abandoned. I'm abandoning this show. I'm walking away. I'd slam the table. I'm trying not to hit the table because we're recording. So, 7 Days a Geek. These guys, you've heard me mention them before on the show, but Grant and Jay and... I've been following them, listening to their show, and getting to know those guys. And this was a thing that spun out of them just doing live podcasting every now and then on Mixlr. And they were like, it just turned into a thing in the chat room that's hooked up to that. I was like, oh my God, could the 24 hours show happen? Has anybody done it? Like, could they do it?
Right.
And it's like, a test of internal geekitude. It's like, also, okay, could you stay up? Yeah, but can you actually do a good show?
Right. So you're going out to Michigan in a couple of weeks.
I'm involved.
Wow, Michigan.
Thinking my baby in Michigan. That's a good song, right, Doc? You know that song.
I'm happy that I don't.
No,
I
you
think.
do. It's,
I think I have their tires on my car.
It's Tenacious D. It's Tenacious D.
Is it?
Yeah. Well,
I like Tenacious D, but I don't think I've
it's
heard that
one
one.
line from one song, so
Oh, so I might have just.
it's not ringing a bell.
Might have just missed it.
That's okay. But
So you're going out there, right? You're
so
going
I'm going
for
out there
almost
for like
5 days, right?
Like 17 days. I'm gonna sleep in any little nook or
Well, you're gonna
cupboard
be-
that
no,
they let
it's
me
a-
crawl
Well, you'd be
into.
welcomed right in because if you just went to Detroit, I mean,
Oh,
I think
I'd fit
you'd be
in.
able to find.
Ain't that up by the old polar ice cap? Don't you guys sleep in igloos?
I'm definitely gonna have to bring like a sweater, I think, or some mittens, maybe. I don't know.
Hey man, if
It's
you're
Michigan.
homeless and you're going to Detroit, I think you'll fit I think you'll fit right in, man.
Well-
I would before you pack. I would check what
But I know you're not
what
going
the
to
weather's
Detroit.
going to be for like the next 10 days
In case
in
I
Michigan.
Make sure I don't get snowed in.
Yeah,
Snowden?
Snowden.
Oh,
Big.
poor Eddie. So anyway, yeah. So I got pulled into the project. I was, you know what I mean. And,
Sucker.
Well, no, hey man.
Nah, he's
I like
he's
these guys.
jazzed about it.
I'm
Free
kind of
labor.
I am really excited. What was that? Flat lever?
Free labor.
Free labor. I thought you said flat lever.
Yeah.
I was like, well, that might be flat lever might be the thing. But I'll come back. I'll come back to this show.
Normally Mexicans don't come from Mexico and stop in Michigan, so he's had to like
They don't usually come from
he's had to
Staten
like
Island,
put the
New
word
York,
out
and then head out
like
there.
nationwide for people willing to work for free.
Well, he's got a team. They've assembled a team.
Yeah, I
You know
heard
what I mean?
he's coming from all the way from Canada, eh?
Well, I believe if Doug has been telling the truth, this
By
other guy,
boost.
Doug, who's been
Taking
helping
the
these
boost,
guys
eh?
out for a long time. Yeah, he's taking the boost. La boost.
All the way
Where's he at?
He's up in. All I
Ottawa,
know is he's past the
Ottawa or
border.
something.
He's
Oh, he's in
across-
Canada.
Yeah, he's in Canada.
Cool.
If I'm understanding the whole.
Maybe he's just using this as an
Correct.
excuse
If you know
to escape
geography.
Canada and become
What?
American.
I know geography. If I understand this land stuff. So anyway, yeah, gonna be helping these guys
So
out.
it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be a good opportunity for you to maybe push this show out there.
Well, I'm
to,
sure we'll get mentioned and all that stuff, but it was definitely one of these things where it's like, I'm definitely interested in the project almost like on its own and like how it's going to happen, how it goes down, and it's like, it's kind of like a once in a lifetime kind of thing in a way. It's like,
Yeah,
here's an
it's-
experiment, be a part of it. Like, the whole thing could go crazy. The whole thing could be awesome. The whole thing could be good
If
enough.
this whole
you know.
podcasting thing takes off for you, it'll look good on your resume.
Like,
Yeah, man, you might
podcast
get into a good
resume.
college.
Like, I mean, finally, something to get me into an Ivy League. What was this on your resume, sir?
No one said anything about Ivy
no.
League. All right, relax. Don't get ahead of yourself.
Well,
All right, kid.
I'd apply. I probably wouldn't get in, but I would apply.
They might not even let you apply.
That's true. You might be like, rejected, sir. We saw the grease on your envelope. So, the greasy thumbprints.
So yeah. So anyway, Bill's going out to
This is
fucking
the
Michigan. He's
plan.
gonna
October
do a
20th.
fucking 24-hour podcast.
24 hours.
Look out for it.
On October 24th, 7 Days a Geek is the guys. I'll be helping out.
Yeah, they got a pretty good show of their own.
I'll be jumping
Going
in and
on.
out live. I won't really be on the mic a whole hell of a lot, but we're gonna be helping out here and there. I'm sure when someone's got to take a pee break,
Yeah. It's
they might
definitely
be
gonna.
like, "Hey kid, you got something to say?" And I'll be like, "No, sir."
It'll definitely have the Wicked Theory stamp on it. It's gonna have a little bit of that feel in there
Oh,
because
well,
you're on the writing team, aren't you?
Yes, I am leading the team to disaster.
So
As a matter of fact,
it's
someone
gonna
was
be a
crazy
little
enough
bit,
to ask me to run the writers' room.
little Wicked Theoryisms are gonna find their way into the podcast. I'm sure
Oh, they're in there.
the
They're in there.
sensibility.
They're in there. They're in there a little bit. So anyway, October 24th, 24 hours. It's going to be a grand experiment in geekery. There's all kinds of fun and games and interactivity planned out. So, just putting that out there for people. I will mention it again, I'm sure. Anyway, on to other things.
What other things?
Well, I'm just saying, in general, that's official business. That stuff's out of the way now.
Finally.
Finally.
official
Oh, my
shit.
God. 10 minutes and 30 seconds. Do you think I can edit that down? Should I?
Let's hope so.
These poor people. Yeah, we're going to try and keep it under 7 hours this episode.
Yeah, past like 3 episodes have been like 2.5 hours.
6:50
I apologize. to that people.
6:59 is the goal here, I think.
Yeah, okay. Was that the sound of emails?
Yes, that was the sound of email.
Jingle. Before I dive directly into the actual emails, because I put out a little a tweeter, and Doug who I mentioned before, actually hit me up real quick, and I thought this would be an interesting question. Like geek gear, right? Like I guess that's just like swag or whatever you're into.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, so what do you collect? Does anybody collect actually anything in general? Like
I'm
that
not that geeky that I got geek gear. I'm
Okay.
T-shirts and jeans.
Well, that's all I meant to ask was a follow up. Does he mean specifically clothes, or does he said collect? So I'm guessing like
if he wants,
stuff.
I mean, if he wants,
stuff. If you collect any memorabilia ish, or like, are you into like one particular band or anything so much that you get like their stuff, like whenever it's like printed on something?
Nah,
or,
I mean, you know,
like anyone a movie that's like, oh, I love, like, you know, I'm obsessed about that movie, so I'm always buying like if you were really into Wolverine, and you always buy
somebody I
Wolverine
know
stuff.
is like really into Raging Bull.
Well,
So
it's one poster.
yeah,
It's one poster framed, but I never would have got it.
No, it's not like you got 20 different things with Robert De Niro's signature on it from that movie or something like that. But
Right.
But no, I've never been a collector of much stuff.
So now here's.
I'm not a big collector. I don't got a lot of room for a lot of stuff.
Well, what if money was no option? Because that's kind of like the thing too.
I still wouldn't.
There's nothing like you would say. Cause I was thinking about it too.
I'm a big Star Trek fan,
Yeah.
but I've never had the inclination to go out and buy anything from Star Trek. And I'm like that with anything, pretty much. I don't need to see. I don't see the need to go and buy other stuff.
Just don't have
if
it
I
all.
like that
Yeah.
for that, then that's enough.
Sure. What about you?
I don't know, man. I mean, I like to buy T-shirts and stuff like that, like Bob said.
Right.
But I mean, there's not one. There's not like I have my characters and my
Interests or whatever,
interests
but
that
it's not
I
like
that I
anything-
like to buy apparel for. But it's not like I'm buying fucking, anytime I see a Game of Thrones shirt, it's not like I'm gonna buy
gotta
it.
have
You know what I
it.
mean? Like I'm.
So what about?
But I don't collect anything else other than comics, which
So-
I don't even look at as like a collecting thing. I just look at it as like I love to read comics, so
look
like
at
I
it
just
as, like,
accumulate them.
Accumulate.
You
That's
know?
what I was gonna say. They just kind of pile up.
That's really all it
so
is.
let me throw this out then to kind of wrap it up. So now, if money was no option,
Probably not.
nothing really off the top of your
I
head.
mean, I like
Here's what
those
was thinking.
vinyls, those
I feel
Funko vinyl pop
so-
things. I mean, those are pretty cool. But I mean,
So,
how many
and-
of those can you really
So I
have?
kind of feel the same way as both of you guys on this. There's nothing that kind of sticks
Yeah.
out. But then when
If
I
I had,
thought about
if money was no object, I'd be buying other things.
this is true too.
Yeah.
I'd
Right.
run out of
I'd have a
money.
Bugatti.
I'd be running out of money in other ways.
Yeah.
So here's what I was going to say. Is,
I'd
like,
have
is
a
there
bimbo
anyone?
girlfriend.
Because I was starting to think about movie memorabilia. Then I was like, nah, fuck memorabilia. What I want is movie props. Like actual used in the movie props. Like I would kill to have, if I had money no option, I would kill to have like something from Star Wars. But anyway, that's kind of like what I was thinking with that. Like,
Yeah, no,
maybe
obviously,
I'd,
there's a-
I'd buy the DeLorean from.
Yeah, the
or
DeLorean.
something stupid
You can
like
go.
that.
You can go to Texas and buy a DeLorean right now. They make them down in Texas.
Well, maybe you
Still.
could.
No,
maybe you could.
$25,000.
$25,000. I'll get that in my shoebox.
Yeah, go get yourself a Sentra. That's like $38,000 by the time you're done.
I would probably if money like wasn't an issue at all.
Right.
I don't know. Probably
If
Mark
money-
the
if-
Mark IV from Iron Man
The
2.
Iron Man armor. Sure.
Like legit movie prop.
Yeah. I want. the
And
suit,
then,
you know.
not that I'm a huge fan of Tron or anything like that, but probably like the Tron bike, whatever that is.
Yeah,
I don't even know what
the
what is
have
that
that
cool.
propped
I don't
up in
know.
the
I don't know what it's
corner.
called, but
It's
That would
just
be-
a Tron cycle. I
That'd make a
think.
good dinner table, bro. Just put a big piece of glass over the top of it.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Because what else are you gonna do with that thing?
I would like to know if it actually like
Rent it out for
Could be
There
free.
are,
used.
there are some. I think there was a bunch of those that were they CG'd up to not look so real, but
right.
for the most part, I think that whole circular hollowed out wheel is
Yeah.
like a thing now.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
There's actually a guy who started doing that in Florida before the movie.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, he was the first
was
one to
making
come up with it. He
making
was
it
doing it
well.
on Biker Build Off or something. I was
Sure.
a big fan. And then, so, yeah, that's something that's feasible and realistic and actually exists.
Cool.
So I got some Ed mails. As usual, I get crazy. What's Ed's first question? Gentlemen, if you ever found yourself...
If you ever found yourself not being able to read, you're probably on the Wicked Theory
You're
podcast.
you're probably one of the guys in charge. Gentlemen, if you ever found yourself sprinkled with fairy dust, what happy thought would you use to fly? What? Is this straight from, like, Peter Pan?
All right, someone needs to give Ed a drug test.
Oh, man. I think he was just up early on the bus this day and just was just like, yeah, that's going. I think is that the mechanics of fairy dust? Like you have to have a happy thought. and
Right,
then you
yeah,
can fly?
like
Is
Peter
that-
Pan. Like you have to have happy thoughts in Peter Pan in order to be able to fly once you've been sprinkled with pixie dust.
Okay. Obviously, I'm not
So.
good at my Peter Pan mythology and mechanics of that universe. Ed, that's a bust, Ed. Because I don't think I think
What
if
happy
someone
thoughts?
Because he's like, if you found yourself
We would be
sprinkled with
thinking
fairy
happy
dust,
of.
what happy thought would you use to fly? And I don't think I'd have a happy thought because I'd be like, yo, what the fuck are you throwing in my face? Why are you throwing fairy dust all over me? What the hell's that about?
That's what this
I don't
is.
know.
This is New York after all. It's like,
That's what
what
I mean.
the fuck is that? Is that anthrax you're throwing all over me
Yo,
there?
Yeah, don't be throwing stuff.
Hey,
You're wasting now. You
trying
could
to
be
kill
selling
me
it.
here?
Gentlemen, whatever happened to the little kid who plays Matilda? Well, I think she grew up and she became queen of the empire or some shit for a while.
Did she?
If you remember, I don't know if you ever saw Professional. The Professional?
The Professional.
So that's the one that's got...
Right, Sylvester Stallone. No, not that one, right?
No.
That's is that the Jean
it's Jean-Luc...
Picard?
So, yeah, might as well be. The
French
one
guy.
That's got... what's her name in it when she's real little? When she's real young. She goes on to play...
yeah, that's
oh my
Natalie
God,
Portman.
the worst Natalie Portman.
Yeah,
It's the
Natalie
worst
Portman's in that. It's her
fucking
first
geek
movie.
show ever. So anyway, it's like the movie that broke her. So she's like a little girl now,
Right.
and the guy's a hitman from out of the country or
Okay.
whatever in the building. Gary Oldman's in it.
Okay, cool.
And she
So if you
lives in
haven't
the
seen it, you
building.
should really see
Yeah,
it.
she lives. She
Messed
lives in
up
the
movie.
building, and he kind of like gets to like her because her life sucks.
Her life sucks. His life sucks. They kind of befriend.
Yeah.
It kind of walks this line just a tiny bit of like uncomfortable, like where is this going?
Right,
But
right.
it all kind of
Yeah.
goes to shit. And it's an action movie. More or
Cool.
less. Slow burn kind of thing, but very good.
Mm-hmm.
So what happened to the little kid? We know what happened to the little kid who plays Matilda, but the real question is, will they ever make a movie where we find out what happened to Matilda? Which is a thing that comes up every now and then. It's like, oh, will he? Now that
Isn't that in a kid's book or something? No.
I think we're mixing up. I think we're mixing them up.
Yeah, I
You know, how many people
can't-
named
I
Matilda
really-
can there be?
Yeah, it's off your radar, right?
don't remember
Okay.
much of that movie.
Okay.
First off,
Fair enough.
I think there's only with 7 or 8 billion people on the planet. I think there's maybe 27 Matildas on Earth.
Here's Ed's next question. Gentlemen, what is the cutoff date to pack up your AC unit for the fall?
I did it today, so
How about that? Good question, Ed.
probably
Get the advice from a
October
professional.
10th,
Yeah,
around
I'd
1
say-
o'clock.
I'd say most people do it on Columbus Day weekend.
It's probably with the markers for some people, I bet.
Yeah.
That's this weekend, so
Well, there you go.
there you go.
I'd say you should probably do it before Halloween hits. Just saying.
Probably. I mean,
That's- Ed's last question. Gentlemen, who would you cast in a remake of MacGyver? Which comes up.
no one, because I don't want a fucking remake
Well,
of
I would
MacGyver.
have-
Thank you. Neither do I.
You would have to have
Fair
Richard
enough.
Dean Anderson, but not as MacGyver.
He'd be like Dad Guyver. He would just be
Right.
old MacGyver now.
Right, he'd be Sensei
And it'd
MacGyver.
be like Kid Guyver. Kid Guyver would run around and solve everything.
And then
you know.
who was the
his
guy who
phone.
did MacGruber?
Yeah, we'll have him just pop in real quick. But he's got his own show now.
He can be like the gadget guy.
Inspector Gadget.
I don't think
Oh.
they had a gadget guy.
No,
that.
he was yeah.
MacGyver's whole thing
That-
was like he'll figure out how to.
But
get
there was a
out of
little
that.
Yeah.
wasn't there a little science guy or something?
He had like
Like-
the little
like, 'cause he-
schlubby
there was-
boss that he used to kind of get assignments from.
Yeah, but
who would
wasn't
come
there a-
every week and be like, "No, Mac, I really need you."
Yeah,
And that was
but
like,
wasn't there a
every
guy
week.
that would always like offer him a gadget that he wouldn't use and he wouldn't have taken apart? Not always every week, but once in a while.
I could see it. Don't get me wrong, I could see
Yeah,
it.
I mean, it's been a long time. I don't remember
yeah,
exactly.
it was such a weird thing too. It's like, what's the agency you're working for? Like, what's the deal here, Mac?
yeah.
Like, you just live on a boat, and this one guy just comes over. and is like, Mac, I just need you to go save somebody.
These days, he'd be working for a billionaire through several secret
Yeah, we'd have the whole
organizations and
we'd have the whole
businesses.
dark backstory.
Yeah.
All right, so that was it with Ed, and then we got one from Agent Palmer. Palmer. What am I gonna do with Agent Palmer, guys?
Is your boy Agent Palmer going up to Michigan also?
No, but he's involved in this little 24-hour podcast project. He's
Very
in the
nice.
writers' room. And,
Very nice.
He is actually he's putting work in. He's actually can't knock the guy for being
Cool.
involved.
Cool.
So he's got a thing for Ralph Bakshi, and I don't know if Dom knows who that is off the top, but We gotta write shorter emails next time, Palmer. So he's got a blog. His email reads, "We all have our various geekdoms that make us geeks. It's not one thing alone that defines us as geeks." So I have a blog with many, many things that test this fact. Is and of the many series I've written, like on Magic the Gathering, spoiler-free reviews, interrogations, retro PC games.
Bill, I'm sorry, Bill.
Yeah.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but what would the name of that website be?
Oh, Agent Palmer.
AgentPalmer.com. Okay,
Yeah,
thank you.
You're welcome. So that's fair enough. That's a pertinent question.
Mm-hmm. Get
Because
the man a
not for
plug.
nothing. Because not for nothing. As much as he's plugging, now that I'm scanning it, he didn't
doesn't
put it
mention
in. He does a roundabout plug. It's like basically someone's got to ask. So there is
He's
news.
testing you.
I'm sorry. What was it?
He's texting you. He's testing you.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Actually, Bob passed the test, I guess. So there's news that about animation pioneer Ralph Bakshi and his next project. The news is that it's coming up on his birthday. He'll be releasing his latest project, The Last Days of Coney Island, on Vimeo on demand. Leads him to two questions for us. First, have you seen any of these films, like Wizards, Fritz the Cat, Heavy Traffic, Lord of the Rings, the animated, American Pop, Fire and Ice, Hey Good Looking, Coonskin, or Cool World? Now, if not for shame,
this is like old school stuff, right?
It is. I mean, the most recent thing on here is going to be Cool World, and that's like one of Brad Pitt's first things, if I remember that right. And it was Kim Basinger was the cartoon girl, and I think it was Brad Pitt. I want to say was in that. I could be wrong. I could be totally wrong on that. But I have seen Heavy Traffic. I do remember watching the Lord of the Rings animated one, but it was so wild and out there.
Yeah, I did see
I think
that.
I blacked it out or something. I was probably traumatized as a kid by it or something.
But yeah, that was weird. I don't think I
Yeah,
finished
it was one of those ones that was like, too young to watch it, and it was too dark and moody. Where like animation back in those days, like Disney animations, could easily get like too dark. And, like,
Yeah, but this was like
fuck up your head when you were little.
trying to be, I think, more adult.
But that's the thing. I think it was,
And it was just confusing.
Well, that's the thing too. It's confusing as hell. Like you don't know what's going on as a kid watching that shit. But that it's like, it's got surrealist kind of art and stuff going on too. Like I think they did some like artsy kind of animation on it, and it was like who knows what the fuck is going on right now.
Yeah, it was just a little too much.
And then, but Heavy Traffic, I think I had seen a little bit of Fritz the Cat stuff, which was all like, raunchy, goofy cartoon stuff.
Yeah, I've seen one or two. That's Fritz the Cat was black and white. That goes back to the early days of like Mickey Mouse and stuff. Fritz the Cat they were black and white shorts that went in front and in between movies.
I think that's Crazy Cats or something else. Fritz the Cat was like, if it's the Ralph Bakshi thing, you know what I mean? If we're going by what he's got here typed, and I'm pretty sure he's Johnny Research. But I know what you're talking about, like the wall clock with the big black eyes.
That's Fritz the Cat. So
right.
maybe he did something with it later on because it was public domain.
It's quite possible. Yeah, maybe I'm mixing up my shit. I
mean, maybe I'm thinking of the originals, but maybe what he's done there is something.
Yeah.
After
Maybe we need Dom to look up Fritz the Cat real quick for us on the old interwebs and just make sure.
Looks like he's on Facebook or something.
I'm sure he's on. He's socializing. He's got friends and stuff.
I don't know. Well, since when does Facebook have a beige background?
It wasn't Facebook. It was Instagram. I was actually looking up Dan Slott's Instagram.
Oh.
Fritz the Cat. What do you want to know?
Like, I don't know.
What's this guy's name, Bill?
What, the emailer? Or Ralph Bakshi. Ralph Bakshi. Yeah. But
it's classified as a pornographic indie film.
It's the gray cat. It's the gray tabby kind of cat. It's a gray cat. Yeah. So.
Okay.
I can't remember what the clock is called either, though. The black and white cat. You know.
That was Fritz the Cat, but that was originally like in the 30s and the 40s.
Yeah. But
it was a movie short.
No, I know exactly what you're talking about. You know what I mean?
That was definitely.
It was Betty Boop, and it was Betty Boop and that cat.
Yeah. They were around at the same time.
Put in Betty Boop and the cat and see what comes up with the cat.
See if you got any black and white pictures of Fritz the Cat. He's already on that.
Felix.
Felix the cat.
Oh, Felix. That's what I'm
I
thinking.
mean, I knew it was a similar.
All right, yeah.
I knew it was a the cat.
Can
The
we
art
move
style-
on now?
the art style-
Can we
Yeah,
stop
yeah,
talking
yeah.
about this fucking
All
cat?
right. Anyway, all right, yeah.
Jesus Christ.
This fucking show. So anyway,
That's right. It was like a pornographic cartoon, right?
yeah. I tried to rent it once from 4-Star Video. And then I guilted
Remember
myself
them?
out. I thought I was going to get caught, so I was like, oh, no. And I, put it back.
And meanwhile, she probably had no idea that it was
Yeah,
a
I probably would've got
pornographic
away with
cartoon.
it. I probably would've
It
got
was
away with
just a cartoon to her.
All right, so then his second question is based on the fact that, so now Bakshi is going to release this on demand, his newest project, because he got burned when they made Cool World. Like, what do we think about that? Feel about that? How do you feel about releasing films directly to an online platform like Vimeo? And it's like, I feel like Vimeo is just it's a step up from YouTube as far as like it's not trying to. It's not as flashy and everything. It's about the video and that's
Right.
that kind of thing. It's not about hey, find 7,000 other things here.
Yeah.
But
I think that's
what's the difference?
I think that's the way it's going to go now. And I think depending on how well people adopt this kind of format,
Right.
will dictate just how much we continue to go out to the movies.
All right, because that was a bust. I'm going back to Ed because Ed had another one in here,
Okay, all
and
right.
it's actually a good one. I was going to skip it, but I didn't read it, so I was just like, I'll save that whatever that is for next week.
All right.
But I opened it. So, what movies from this last year, will we see turned into TV shows, like in the next 10 years,
That's a good question.
like Limitless and like Minority Report?
Right.
Well, those are two TV shows that never should have been made, in my opinion.
Well, most of the shows that get turned into TV shows.
Yeah.
What's surprising is that they tend to last more and more often now. It used to be that stuff like that they wouldn't have like a fighting chance.
I mean, say what you want about the
Well, I think-
movies themselves, but I mean, I really haven't seen Limitless, so I can't say for that. But Minority Report is pretty solid. So, I mean, maybe when you saw the movie, you might not think that, hey, this would make a great TV show, or they should, do more with this. But
Well, it's like Fargo.
it turned out to be pretty good. So,
Right. Well, I think with the success of a show like Fargo, it made studios go back and say, okay, what licenses do we own
right.
that we can use in another way?
Right.
Like, what can we do with this? So, and I think that's what we're seeing the fruits of now.
So, does anybody recall? I can't.
No, I haven't touched
Like,
Limitless.
what's a movie in the last year that would actually be a decent TV show? Actually, what's a movie that came out in the last year?
yeah. Even though I've
well,
seen,
You guys are giving us work today, bro.
even
I
though
don't
I've
know.
seen
I don't
so
know if
many, I fucking
You know
really
what?
can't.
This one didn't come out in the last year, but I think it would be good for like Saturdays, like right after lunch, like when we were kids with the martial arts movies.
Okay.
Make Pacific Rim a TV show
Well,
for early Saturday afternoons.
I can see Pacific
Right.
Rim being a cartoon. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Being
No,
like a
I can
Saturday
see
morning
it. See, I
cartoon
can see
show.
them dumbing it down and making it look like Power Rangers. But I'm talking about making it
like
look
a-
like
like-
a live action.
As high
Kinda
quality
like-
as you could.
Yeah, even if it is a little on the low budget side, like the old Godzilla movies.
Right.
You know,
That's where it's
But-
coming from anyway.
right,
So.
right. So
Well, if you did a man in suit show, like you
Right.
know what I mean, like they used, like they did
Right,
like that,
right,
but
then-
just tried to up the,
Right.
up the effects and up the quality, but still used a guy in a rubber suit. Do you think that would be any good?
I think I might watch it. I don't know about everybody else.
I was trying to think of stuff that came out this year, like
how about-
I really personally cannot think of
Avengers,
anything. No.
nah, that wasn't it.
Black Mass.
Yes, it was. But
Black Mask would make a great TV show. I think a weekly.
Yeah,
You know what I
of course.
You
it was, but-
just want to see who would kill, who he's going to take to his mom's house to kill this week.
Just who's going to mom's house? That's the slogan. That's the show.
Yeah, really.
Make it a rom com.
Meh.
You get Will Ferrell.
This week on Whitey Bulge's mom's house.
Living with
Just
Whitey.
live in Whitey's house.
Yeah, man.
So on TV this week, we had some shows come back. We had some of that Gotham. We had some of that Flash.
Some of that Gotham, some of that Flash.
Some of that Gotham, some of that Flash. Even I had a little bit of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which is slowly getting a little better.
A little bit better.
A little bit better.
I've been
Slowly.
watching it.
How many seasons have they been getting better?
3. It's always on a rise.
It's always Gotham.
only
I think.
3?
I think Gotham's getting a little bit better also.
I thought they things were on like 12 seasons.
It's
already.
just strenuous to watch it, so it feels like 12 seasons. So anyway, yes, Gotham has gotten
Pretty good.
pretty good. They're doing crazy bold shit, but also stuff that I feel like they kind of had to do. Like, you know what I mean? Because where are you going to go with that kid? So spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Woo, woo, woo. Actually, I'll play I'll put in a sound clip right here. That's not it. That's Bob.
That's
playing
Bobby.
the fucking,
Probably won't even make the final cut of the show.
The upright thing.
That's the harmonic.
Yeah.
So, anyways, the kid that they've been leading on the whole time to be the Joker. What's his name? Jerome.
They offed him.
They end up killing him, man.
They fucking shanked this kid right in the
The
face.
storyline ain't working.
Well, not even that. It's like
It
ultimately.
was working.
But ultimately,
I thought I liked it.
No, because we finally got used to him a little bit in his over the top craziness. But ultimately, it was like, well, where are you going to go with it? If he's not going to be the real Joker, then it's all for nothing, and all people are going to do is fucking pick on it or try and dissect it.
Yeah. So
and then be like, you know.
So the thing
Why
I
not
have
give
now
him
is
now?
for anyone that has watched the show, you know, like the way they end that episode, you know, with him like dead, I guess, in the, you know, in that on that table,
Yeah, he's dead. Yeah.
and he's smiling. You know, is that going to be a joke? You know, like a classic Joker
So the way
thing
they
where it's like, you know,
ended
he's
is that-
going to end up coming back anyways, even though he's dead. He's going to somehow come back and.
What they do is because he's all over TV at the moment, everybody in the city is watching it basically, and they start doing this thing where they start showing you other people in the city are watching it, like the bars and all kinds all over. And so this audio is going with the laugh, and everybody starts copying his laugh. So what they're kind of getting at, and I do this voiceover with a scene from earlier in the episode where his father said some kind of like, "You're going to be the worst thing to ever happen to Gotham City." And then, then the kid kills his dad.
Okay.
But anyway, so it's like this intoning that like he's influenced the city now. So the real Joker that eventually comes will be
Right.
amping this kid's style, which I kind of felt was like,
Well, can there
Maybe.
be anybody
Well,
in the current lineup, even peripherally, who might have been influenced by this guy?
That's what I was going to say. Well, you know, they're making this Barbara Gordon character be,
Harley Light.
you know, Harley Quinn type esque, I guess. But I've seen rumors online that people are saying that she might end up becoming the Joker. That they might do like a female Joker.
Yeah.
I know you saw that also.
I think so.
Which I don't know. I mean, you know, I don't really think I would have a problem with it because I like Barbara's character. I think she's pretty wacky and I think she's a good
I would
actress.
have no problem with Barbara becoming some Looney Tune that's like her own thing, and the show gives her her own name. You know, because
you wouldn't be cool with it being the Joker.
No, because like it's just not how the Joker
Well, I don't think they're
going to
do. I think personally, I personally don't think if you're not going to have a show where you're not going to, you know, if you're going to have a show and you're not going to, you're going to have a Bruce Wayne character, but you're not going to officially name him Batman.
Right.
I don't think that you can, you know, have a Joker, you know.
Yeah.
You know, name a character
the timeline
the
stuff
Joker
doesn't work out because they're supposed to be approximately around the same age. So this kid has already got like, you know,
no, he's a few years older. I mean,
Well, it depends on how far you go back. I mean, if you go back to the Michael Keaton Batman, Joker is obviously older.
That's fair enough too.
No, I was going to say something like that too, but I mean, it's like,
and it also depends. Sometimes the artists, the way they draw them in the comic book, we might be used to one way, but which way is the right way?
I just think that it would be a mistake for them to, you know, have a flat out Joker character, name him the Joker officially, and not have the Batman be on screen.
But that's the thing. I think that they painted themselves into a corner with it, and they knew that this kid's not going to ever be the Joker. People are going to get tired of him at a certain point. And so it's like, what do you do with him? The best thing you could ever do with him then is surprise kill him.
Yeah,
like, you
I
know
agree.
I mean?
And I know, for me, I mean, I don't know.
No
I
one
can't
expected him to go away in episode 3.
No, yeah, but I think that, you know, thinking back now, they're putting him on all on the TV commercials. They're putting him everywhere. On you know, they're trying to amp him up, thinking to make the viewers think that this kid's going to stick around for a little while. And then, like you said, they surprise kill him. But with that said, back to what I was saying earlier, like you know, I know personally I can't really speak for anyone else, but I love the Joker. He's, you know, one of my favorite comic book characters villain or hero. And if they were to flat out have a Joker character on the show, I would want the show to be about the Joker and not really be about anything else.
Yeah, he was
just like we've spoken about in the past with, if you're going to put Batman on screen, then you're going to have to put Batman in every episode in the spotlight.
Well, that's what happens with that kind of character, because like even with Jerome, as much as you might have hated Jerome, he brings energy to his show that is slow,
very
and quiet,
dry,
and plodding. So it's like at a certain point, either he starts to grow on you, or you just fucking turn the show off. Like, you know?
I liked him.
I liked that they were willing to do crazy shit with him. Like, you know what I mean? Because that's what it started to be. But I guess the reason that was is because they knew they were gonna. Right. They could go crazy with him because he was expendable from the jump.
He didn't do anything super crazy over the top.
Well,
anyways,
they start to,
by the way.
but it's like a TV show, so they don't let him. Like
in the episode that they end up killing him in, he comes close to killing Bruce Wayne, and then he ends up dying.
Well, there's I have a whole issue with that whole episode. Like as far as some of that stuff, it's like it was pointless. It was a waste of time. Some of it, but my point being, like the whole thing with the cheerleaders on the bus, and the episode before where he's like hosing them down with gasoline. I was like, oh,
that was cool.
Like I know he's never gonna light that. Like it's never gonna get lit. But it was like, for a moment there, I was like, that's a pretty crazy thought, like crazy.
And that's something that if you have a guy like that's writing a Batman comic or something that the Joker is involved in, that's probably something that a writer would probably do for the Joker in a comic book. Anyways, I mean, maybe even in one of the movies.
No, yeah,
you didn't really see him do something exactly like that. But you've seen him do some crazy shit in the Dark Knight series.
Could have been lifted from a story too.
True.
So this week, coming up, I'm going to be a guest on another podcast. Yet another podcast. This one called Gotham Lights.
Whoa! Where's that?
So this is available everywhere good podcasts are sold.
Where is that? Where are you going?
Where am I going? I'm not going anywhere. I'm staying home. I'm Skyping it.
Oh, cool.
So,
cool.
But Stephanie and Henno do this one. Henno's a guy who actually, you get to hear his work every time you listen to one of our episodes, because he's the guy who put together that bumper in the very beginning for the Wicked Radio Network.
Yeah.
So, but he's got a couple of shows. I think this is the only one that Stephanie does. But they basically do like a recap and breakdown every week of episodes of Gotham. And it's not always a love fest, you know what I mean? So it's like, I think that they're pretty good about it for the most part. So, and they're willing to have people on who, are a little critical of the show.
Right.
So,
that's what you're going to be doing on there, right? You're going to be, putting your input up.
Putting my 2 cents in
there you go.
On that. So kids can look for that like next Tuesday or Wednesday-ish.
Cool, man. I'll definitely check it out.
I'll definitely be linking it up, yo. Sonny boy.
So
that little...
What was that, Bobby?
I said, don't let all this fame go to your head now, though.
No. Well,
a little bit of fame coming to you.
Do you think?
But there was another show on this week, wasn't there?
There was
another show that we like. The Swoosh.
The Swoosh.
The fast guy.
Yeah, Speedy Gonzalez.
That was another show. That was on the night after.
Yeah, how was that? I saw Jimmy at work, and he was like, "Oh my God, Arrow was so good."
Yeah. So before we get into Flash.
I'll let you take an Arrow break.
I know Bob and Bill don't really watch Arrow.
Mm-hmm. I'd like to stay abreast.
I don't know why Billy doesn't watch Arrow personally, but he doesn't.
Sorry.
And I kind of hate him for it.
Yeah, I know. You wish that we could bond over that one too, but it's never stuck.
Whatever.
It's never stuck for me.
It's whatever.
Sorry.
But just to touch on it quick, the premiere for season 4 was pretty. It was as good as a premiere for a season as you want it to be.
Okay, but not amazos?
Not amazing. I mean, the show isn't amazing.
Was it better than you thought it was going to be? Because the day before, you were like, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, too, that I thought that show was kind of going down the drain a little bit because of how, kind of campy it was getting.
Yeah.
But definitely surprised.
Okay.
And that episode was a little more grounded than I kind of expected it to be.
Who do you think is in the grave?
Who's in the grave?
Yeah.
Well,
because we won't know. Not to give any spoilers, because there are no spoilers. But 6 months ahead.
Yeah. So at the end of the episode, there's a quick little scene with Barry and Oliver, and they're both standing at the head of a grave, and they're both pretty upset.
But we don't know.
Oliver's crying. Barry's more of the consoling.
As always, he's the softie.
And
It's gonna.
I
be
would like to
okay.
think that it was Felicity,
Right.
just because I would want the show to kill. Not that I have anything wrong with Felicity. I love the character.
Right.
I think she's adorable, but that would be awesome. The show really has a track record of killing off main characters like that.
Okay.
In like points where like their storyline is kind of at its peak.
Right.
Like I mentioned to you the other day, I know you didn't know that Oliver's mom gets a blade through the chest from Deathstroke.
Right.
And with the second season, I think that was.
I was like, oh,
and I always thought that was pretty awesome for like pretty much no reason. And
I thought it was awesome for pretty much no reason.
no, I'm saying
No,
like,
I know what you meant, but the way it rolled off your tongue.
yeah.
I thought it was awesome for no reason.
But that's that. Check that show out if you haven't watched it. I think the first three seasons are on Netflix.
Well, here's the thing too. I think I heard from but the producers don't even know necessarily who was in the ground.
Yeah.
So what they did was they painted themselves in a hole. Where I think they probably have like a couple of options, but they haven't committed yet. So I think
that's the thing where you just got to let the story play itself out. I
think once you know that though, that they haven't picked it out, it's like. Anybody who's fanboying right now going, oh, no, it's definitely this person is, like, wasting their time.
Well, when we saw that, that video the other day about that, I had obviously mixed feelings about it because on one hand, it's cool that you would like to think that these writers have in their mind that they want to kill off a main character by the end of the season, which I like. And on the other hand, you have, why do they not know who the character's going to be?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like why? Like this is kind of... As a fan, this is like a little disheartening because it's like, you would hope that by, they're probably like 6 or 7 episodes into filming already.
Right.
And it's
So
like,
why
do they not have the story like locked in yet? Where it's like, this is how this is going to go.
Right.
And,
committing to
Damien Dark is going to kill fucking Felicity for no reason, or Diggle's going to kill himself because he just can't deal with, how much that helmet sucks and the pressure inside of it. And,
it's so tight.
And how much, he hates
small
Oliver.
For my head. My ears hurt.
I like the accent. Thank you. So, The Flash was on Tuesday also, man.
Flash. So, what'd you think?
I thought the opposite of what I thought for Arrow.
Yes.
It surprised me. It did surprise me. But it surprised me in a negative way.
That's what surprised me because I didn't think it was like super awesome. I wasn't blown out the water. I did have some problems with it, but the fact that you immediately were like, "Yo, this was the worst thing I ever seen in my entire life," or something like that.
Really?
Said.
Well, I mean, you guys, everyone who listens to this show knows that I love that show, man. Yeah. It's one of my favorite shows, and they've been amping it up like ever since that. The season 1 finale where it's like, this is, changes are coming to this show. Yeah. Changes are coming to the world in the show as you know it. And nothing fucking happened in the first episode, man. Like, all that happened was you have a fucking stupid character that drops down from another fucking universe, comes in, just lets everyone know that something's going to change, lets everyone know what you already knew from the fucking commercial. Anyway, nothing really happened.
Right. Yeah, no big reveal.
And then Jay Garrick comes in at the very end of the episode and says, "Hey, my name's Jay Garrick." Not even did you get in the first episode. You didn't even get the, "Hey, my name is Jay Garrick and your world is in danger," that you've been hearing on the commercials, on the radio, and on TV for the past 3 months. Didn't even get that line. All you get is, "Hi, my name is Jay Garrick," and the episode
ends.
ends.
Jay Garrick, and it should be like, "Okay, you're trespassing."
And that's it. And that's bullshit.
Right. Well, right now, the Flash is asking what everybody else who doesn't know the history of the Flash say. Who the fuck is Jay Garrick?
Right. Well, ideally, and I'm sure that it's all done for that reason. But you're absolutely right. Like, especially in that, like, as far as like coming back off of that other season finale.
Yeah, but
this is where I was feeling anyway.
Right.
Was that coming off of that season finale? This episode should have probably been bigger. It should have had more to do with closing the wormhole and the immediate after effects of that.
Yeah,
it should have kind of been split down the middle. And then give me this other stuff, because all that other stuff that went on with Flash and his dad was the only real meat of the episode anyway.
That was bullshit also, because why would...
Yeah.
I can't even talk about that, because that just infuriated me off the bat.
Like, it's very convenient. It's super convenient that there was, he leaves it...
he's leaving
Eobard leaves behind a last will and testament that of a confession that exonerates Flash's dad and gets him out of prison. And so it's just like, okay, that's really cool. And then you only get him out of prison for him to say at the end, well, I'm not going to be around. I got to go.
Yeah.
So you do nothing with that character. You get him out of prison so you can close that storyline.
No.
Right.
There's not. You have.
See,
I mean,
but here's the thing though. These are the we're seeing the trailers for the start of the second season, and we're thinking one thing. We're thinking change means one thing, and the producers mean it a different way, right? Because we did have change. Died, left, got out of prison, and he left. We had Firestorm die.
I'm not saying stuff's not established.
Right? No,
Listen,
but
man.
that's the thing though. But like, because I was waiting for this episode to start off at the wormhole,
Right.
and finish up that
Right.
nice and detailed.
Sure.
You know,
Right,
not
that's
not in the flashback form that we got.
Right. Me too.
You know, and I didn't like that. But everything else, I wasn't. You know, maybe it's just because I wasn't following all the trailers like you guys were. It didn't bother me so much.
Well,
I
just
didn't get so
I didn't
much.
have a problem with the flashback thing. I thought that was fine. The thing I had a problem with was how they, I just don't even know how to explain it. Like they do, they show you in the beginning of the episode what happens when the wormhole gets, swallowed up by a firestorm. But then they don't show you really anything that goes on after that. So it's like,
Well, that's what I mean.
it's
Like
just
they
6
showed you
months later.
like all you need to know just to close up that little bit of it for now,
right.
and then we can jump into this thing here that's like the whole jump 6 months ahead was like totally unnecessary. I felt like too. Like,
I mean,
to a degree.
I agree, but it doesn't bother me that much.
I just thought of maybe they're leaving out details because they want to be able to use that as a go-to later.
Oh no, absolutely. That's the thing that they're doing. But it's a shortcut. It's unnecessary. It's building a mystery that you don't need to, because now it's like, oh, what about this thing? How did this go down? How did that go down? We'll get some more flashbacks maybe. But I feel like that's like, in order to do that, you build this story where Barry again is like very upset. Very upset for what, Barry? Like 6 months have gone by and no one's bothered to get to the core of Barry's fucking solitude and his issues. A lot of these things
after
are all
his
And also
entire
6
life
months
being
of-
up his ass, they're suddenly leave him alone.
And 6 months have gone by, and only one metahuman is dropped out of the fucking sky, right?
Well, that's the thing too. It's
Come
like
on.
they paint themselves into these little corners, and then they got to get them out, and then it's like, okay, so like, I guess episode 2 is really going to put us where we
And
thought
don't-
this would leave us.
And to think that Henry Allen leaving town is a way to, send him off the show is foolish. I really think that something's going to happen with that guy where he's going to end up, becoming either a villain or, some type of other speedster, maybe, or
Don't
just
get me wrong, it would
be
great
involved
to
in the
have
greatest
that-
scheme down the road. He's
crossed my
definitely going to
mind,
pop
too,
up again,
that he
for
would
sure.
somehow.
Well, he's definitely coming back as a speedster, and we're just not going to find out why until after Barry's had to run after him for a while.
Well, that's what I'm kind of thinking is, something's going to happen with him. That there might be a bigger storyline in play for him, and that's why like he's so itchy to get out. He's got something to go do, but it just kind of. I mean, if that doesn't happen, and he's just a peripheral character that continues to pop up about as often as he ever did, and with no real storyline, he's just a sounding board for Barry when he's got a struggle in life. And it's almost like what'd you waste taking him out of prison for? Like, you know what I mean? You did this whole what, just so you can get that guilt, that issue off of Barry's shoulders now?
Yeah, and
Let it
that
become
was
its
the
own
driving
storyline?
force of Barry's, like,
Yeah, I thought that was
the
gonna
whole
be the
nature in the first.
whole course of the whole show. I
Me
mean,
too.
That's what they used to do.
Me too, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, the whole first season was Barry, fighting off these metahumans, really, in the
Well,
name of getting vengeance for his dad,
What
Why-
would be cool?
right?
ahead.
What if this season? Here's a dream for a master plan that we wouldn't see coming, right? What if this season they actually start to line up Barry to get everything that he wants in life, and then at the end it turns out this isn't the right timeline, like it's fucked up, and he has to reset it, and most of it goes like back to the way it was, but like he still remembers. So like he ends up with Iris. Dad gets out of prison, and like a couple of these other things. But then by episode 5 or 6, it's like but the whole thing with the time and the singularity is like, it's still.
If they didn't,
You know what? Now you say that, that would make a lot of sense. That would be why we're seeing this in flashback form. Number one, and it just sounds right.
Anything from you, champ?
yeah, I think I'd be okay with that to a degree, but I don't know. I mean, if they didn't do that so much last season, I think I would be more okay with it. But now it's just like, you know, how many times are you going to lead us on and then just fucking just change it? You know what I mean? Like, that's one of the problems that I have with the show, like, about, like, in what it's about. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, now that we know that there's a multiverse and that there's alternate times and there's alternate universes, you know, these writers literally have the viewing audience in the palm of their hands where they could just do whatever the fuck they want, like they did last season when they had the Reverse Flash kill Cisco, end the episode, make you think that he's dead. Then next week, oh hey, Cisco's alive again. Alternate time, man. Sorry, go fuck yourself.
Now that I'm thinking about it, Eddie's back. We saw Eddie. Yeah,
that was a dream.
Oh, that was a dream.
Oh,
okay,
that was only the.
So I was thinking, yes, for a second there, I guess I misplaced that in the story, but I was thinking maybe that him being back, it would be a sign that this is an alternate universe.
Right. And that too kind of like got me a little bit too. It's like, you know, I hate the thing that they do on TV shows like that or movies sometimes where it's like, oh, it's just a dream, to kind of gas the audience for a second, where it's like it doesn't really serve any story purpose. It doesn't get us any inch deeper that 2 lines of dialogue couldn't have got us in. It's basically a waste of like actual time and money if you consider it production-wise. But it's like, okay, he has a creepy dream for 5 seconds where we're all supposed to be like, oh my God, did everything reset? He's there and he's there, and oh my God, he's getting up out of the chair. You know what I mean? No, it's just a dream.
Right.
Or maybe even some kind of daydream because he didn't like wake up. He's just standing there.
Right.
So I guess it's some kind of daydream he's having. So I just felt like it was a waste.
It was a waste. I agree.
It was cool to see. It was nice. It was well done. But it's just like ultimately like...
It was trying to pull on heartstrings that really weren't warmed up for that kind of a scene, you know?
And even
I don't care about Eddie. I know like in the scheme of the show, like the characters in the show are heartbroken by the fact that Eddie had to sacrifice himself to make everything go away, but I don't care. I didn't care enough about Eddie to begin with that now you have to put in that scene to make me cry about the fact that Eddie is off filming Quantico, so he can't be on the fucking Flash anymore.
Right.
So, you know, I don't know. I don't think it was necessary at all.
I think they should have, I don't think he should have gone to Quantico. I think that was a poor career move.
He was doing pretty good, but they killed him off. They killed him. They're like, down, dead. Go away, Eddie. So
that's enough for me about
That's
the Flash.
enough for the Flash for now. We'll be back. We'll do more Flash, I'm sure.
Yeah,
in the future.
We definitely will.
So speaking of Quantico, you want to hit that real quick?
Yeah, man. Quantico
was a little bit of a surprise for me.
Quantico, I did not.
I feel like now I know the formula, though. Like, you know,
yeah, well, I didn't intend to watch it, as you know, avid listeners of the show will know from our fall TV episode that none of us at the table really
thought we were going to watch
it at all. I ended up watching the first episode on demand. Loved it.
Yeah.
Second episode was kind of meh. But it's like you said, the show's formula is so obvious. It's just going to be one of those shows where it's like leading the audience on the entire season. This guy's the villain. This guy did this. This guy did that. Meanwhile, he's just
everything
weird.
You learn about somebody is like, ooh, maybe it's them. And
it reminds me
like,
of like a Pretty Little Liars type of show. Like, I mean, I hate to admit that I know what that show's about, but
a lot of those ABC style shows too supposedly have this very same kind of formula where it's like it's all about big moments, but they're like they're fake outs, and then you go, oh, okay, so it's not him. Oh, maybe it's this other one. But so everything they give you, they'll give you for suspicion value. But in the next 5 minutes, they'll kind of like explain why. So it's like, okay, so everybody's a suspect on the show.
That's
because it's all about this one,
which is cool, I guess. I mean, I don't know
who turned into which one of these agents during the training program is actually
a spy.
A terrorist. Later on, because it comes back and forth between time periods, has detonated a bomb or something. So the present, they're trying to find when they pin it on one of the girls who graduated. That girl, we flash back through her and other characters to what went on during this class.
So the show is just like a flashback between what's currently going on with the main character, Alex Parrish, who...
So the whole show was a flashback?
No. Continuing on what I was saying, it's like you're following...
I was trying to actually clear it up my description.
Yeah, following this girl now, her running from the FBI because they think that she's the terrorist, and then you're flashing back to her and the rest of the crew that she went into the academy with to eventually find out who the terrorist was.
Right.
and pretty much like Bill said, just leading you on to,
Yeah, they frame every character in this way where it's like, oh, everybody's got a suspicious story. Like, everyone's got a little suspicious background, or they have suspicious exchanges with each other.
Well, you can paint anyone to be suspicious.
Well, that's what I mean. But they do it with, like, every single character so intentionally
Right.
that, like, it just feels like nothing but, like, fake out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, it's...
I like the show, but that's just a problem that
I think
kind
I
of
might get
annoys
tired
me.
of that after a while.
I might too, but I think I'm kind of the show got me in, and like I do want to know who it was, so
Yeah.
I'll continue to watch it. But
It'd be interesting to see how long they stretch out that one aspect of it too.
yeah, that's something that we were talking about the other day too, where it's like
you can't go 2 seasons
Yeah.
without knowing who that. You got to kind of give that up by the end of the first season, I think.
Yeah.
So also, I guess we could hit some Comic-Con. Really, right? We got
yeah,
some
man. There was
Comic-Con
a few things that I just
You checking out the list there? What do you got? What's new today? Because today is Saturday. We're recording on Saturday.
yes,
This will go up Monday.
so Comic Con will be wrapped by then. By the time you're listening to this, so
This
you
is
might
true.
know something that we don't know yet.
That's true. That's true.
That was
they
big
exist,
and that happened.
They
Right?
exist in the future. We're in
Yeah.
the past.
Right. Exactly.
So what do we have from the past?
So from the past, we have this. I don't think this came directly out of Comic Con, but the writer from the Rap posted up
The Rap.com, you mean?
the Rap. Yeah, I think it's a magazine, right? Or is it just a website?
Probably both.
Oh, okay, so yeah, it's like an Entertainment Weekly
Yeah,
type
yeah.
thing.
Mhm.
I thought everyone knew about it. I didn't
No,
know.
but we're just because you said the writer.
We aren't
from,
everyone,
I wasn't sure if you
evidently.
meant writer of the article.
Okay, yeah, I got you. I'm sorry. So a writer from a magazine called The Rap
Okay, tell me more.
posted on Twitter about a rumor that he heard through the grapevine that Michael B. Jordan, who
Was the Human Torch?
was the Human Torch and
Now is the
is
son
in
of Apollo Creed
yes,
currently.
and who has been taken in a whirlwind of
Mixed,
controversy with
mixed
geeks.
reception on
Is in contention for the role of Boba Fett in the Boba Fett solo movie
Yeah.
that is supposedly supposed to be announced this weekend.
Yeah.
at
Well,
Comic-Con.
well, according to the,
So just add more controversy to the fire
yeah,
for this
it seems
guy.
that way. I mean, if it's a legit story, and if it all pans out, I mean, the Rap is a fairly respected source. Usually, if they got some.
I
stuff
like
going.
Michael B. Jordan. Don't get me wrong.
I do too. I wish the guy would
And
stop
I-
getting caught up in the
Yeah.
middle of this.
And
Kind
I
of
had
stuff,
no problem with the Human Torch thing
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah.
But just because of the fact that Star Wars is a continuing saga, and they have already established that
Yeah.
Boba Fett is,
Yeah.
not African American.
Right.
I don't know how that. I just
Yeah.
don't think that's
He's
right.
not white.
You know what I mean?
He's a certain race that's like not.
He's not white either. He's not
it's
white, he's not black,
comparable
so
to
it's like-
anything on Earth, basically. But you'd have to say it's like it seems to be like Latino,
Yeah.
or maybe even American Indian,
Right.
or dark hair, dark complexion, but obviously not African American type look. You know what we should really do is we should really look up the actor who played it in Star Wars, who played the Jango Fett,
Right.
because they made the clones from his body.
Right.
Because even Boba Fett is a clone of the original.
Right.
What's his son?
No.
Well, it's his
well,
son,
yeah, it's his
but
son,
it's
but
the one
it's,
clone he was
it's
allowed
the
to
clone.
keep
Yeah, he was allowed to keep it.
Oh, okay.
and raised as his own.
Yeah, so
Or-
it's his son, but it's him.
Yeah,
Right. I didn't know that. I forgot about that.
yeah, it's a subtle kind of thing that they put it in. But anyway, and maybe
So,
that'll tip us off to his nationality, so we could base it off of that. Maybe the conversation.
So
Yeah.
he's this actor is from Scotland.
Okay.
No, he's from New Zealand, but he's of Irish, Scottish, and I don't really know how to pronounce this. I think it's like Maori.
Maori.
P-
Maori.
Yeah,
Maori. Okay.
it's like was
it's,
it American Indian tribe?
It's
Oh,
I
it's
think it's a Pan American.
it's a Polynesian
Polynesian. That's
tribe of settlers that
right.
settled
So-
it's
in New
Hawaiian,
Zealand.
it's-
Filipino.
So something like that. So Filipino,
I
so
would stick with Maori.
Polynesian. Let's go with.
Polynesian. That sounds
There we
safe.
go.
But that's the thing. Like, that's the look. That's the whatever. So I don't know. I'm kind of hoping there's some wires crossed with the gossip, and that's not really what they're doing. Only because people are gonna get all stupid about it. If people couldn't get up open arms, I really wouldn't care about shit like this. That
No,
much.
I don't care about
Yeah.
shit like that at all, really,
Yeah.
when it's like a character that it doesn't matter the race of the
That's what
character.
I'm saying.
But this character particularly, I'm sorry, it matters. I mean, you already have an established character in this
I think you know why
universe,
it
and I
matters
don't
too.
know how
think
you're
the
going
way-
to change
I think
the race
big
of the
way it
character.
matters too, because actually defining the different races and colors of the humans in Star Wars Galaxy is kind of important because they're so few and far between.
Right,
You know,
right.
outside of Lando Calrissian, you know what I mean? Like,
No,
you
no,
don't
I
get
know.
to see too many people of color besides the big squid head. You know what I mean? And that's not cool. You know, so to kind of like switch this guy around, you know, isn't that great of a move either. Like,
No, I know, and I think it's like, you know, if you're gonna try and do like what you're saying is like, you know, make the saga more diverse, I guess
Right,
that's
yeah.
what you meant, right?
Well, no, I just mean like it suffers, the original trilogy anyway.
Right.
Suffers from a lack of diversity.
Right.
So
Although
to
it was
shift any-
70, so.
Well, that's what I mean. That's what I mean.
Yeah, no,
They're
but
very-
I agree
very
with you. But
blind
it's
back
just
then.
like what they're
Yeah.
doing now. You know, they have the character Finn,
Yeah.
black actor. So
Right.
I think the best way to make the saga more diverse is by new characters, not by making Boba Fett, who is one of the most popular characters
Right.
for some reason.
Right.
Have the whole entire thing a different color.
I think the
That's just
problem
my
is
opinion.
that if there's any truth to this, the problem is that the studio is looking to try and post a name to it, and that's probably because name me a Polynesian actor who's young on the way up, and you probably can't do it.
Yeah, no, the only guy that I could think of really that's Polynesian
That is true.
You know,
is
The Rock.
Jason Momoa, maybe.
You know, and
but
he's committed.
he's too
Well,
jacked.
that's
He's
true.
too jacked,
You
too
could
old, and
you
committed.
could get a wrestler.
Well, you definitely
I
could.
mean, you know, you got a
there's
lot
of
of
Polynesians.
Samoan
There's a lot of those
guys.
But I don't know if
Yeah,
that's the
but
case though.
the
Star
big
Wars was
boys-
never Star Wars
Yeah.
was never about getting the big name actors, I don't think.
No, but that's what I'm saying.
And there's not really many.
But that's the thing moving forward is that they're still trying to tag, you know, a certain amount of that on, even though they're not going to swim these movies in it like other Hollywood movies would, or other Hollywood projects would, like totally like redo everything. Like, you know, Liam Neeson had to be in the A Team, and it's like, God damn, it's just the A Team. We can just get an old dude who's got gray hair. Like,
Right.
okay, we don't need Liam Neeson. It's like, no, we need Liam Neeson.
Yeah.
It's like, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
So I'm just
But
trying
it
to
was
say,
still a bad movie.
well,
So.
right. Even Liam Neeson wasn't fixing that.
No.
Yeah. And I mean his character wasn't that great either, so.
No, well, there was nothing.
No,
about
there's
the
no
show
real
or the movie that was that
character
great.
to the characters. In
The
the
van
18.
was the best thing on the TV show.
Yeah.
Point being, though, there's just that, like, you know, it's studio overthink if there's any truth to it, and them trying to like say like, well then who are we gonna put in? Well, just do like you did for these movies with JJ, because the main bad guy isn't somebody anybody really knows. He's a guy from Girls. He's the skinny weird guy from Girls. You know what I mean? The guy who's playing Kylo.
Okay, right.
You know what I mean? And so, like, you know, what credit is he running on for a movie like that? So, just be adventurous, just be outrageous, give some kid a chance. Hire a kid who looks like, you know, the character he's supposed to play.
Right. So aside from that,
Aside from that,
which I didn't have from earlier, but just now, I'm seeing on Twitter that
What's your tweet report, yo?
Jeff Loeb is speaking right now at the Jessica Jones, Daredevil, Marvel, Netflix panel,
Yeah, they're doing a big
and you know all the characters are there. Supposedly there was a scene from Daredevil season 2 with Elektra and the Punisher.
Get out.
And right now, Jeff
When do
Loeb
we-
said no clips for the for Jessica Jones for Marvel New York Comic Con, but the whole first
Wow, wow.
episode.
Oh, so they're airing the whole episode. that
Airing
way?
the whole first episode,
Oh, boy.
and supposedly everyone in the room is screaming and going insane, and there is chance.
Well, that's usually how that goes.
Yeah. So I wish I was there. That's all I have
Yeah,
to
what
say.
if,
You got Fanboy Central there. You could show them something you
Anything.
made in your basement as like a prototype for the show, and they would
It's
go
pretty
gaga.
basic. It's pretty
Yeah.
basic. That description
And,
describes every kind of thing that goes on there.
I don't know. I
Screaming and
think
chanting.
one of the sites I follow
Yeah.
that's there when they I think it was like Newsarama or something
Okay.
like that when they posted about the Daredevil clip with Elektra and
Right.
Punisher. They defined the Punisher as majestic. So
Majestic.
that's
Like a horse.
yeah.
Really?
Like this is just majestic.
I think some. Who and where did that exactly?
I don't know.
Just a random article writer.
He's like a
this is
serial
majestic?
killer with a license.
I
and
think
you're calling
somebody
him
I think
majestic.
he was defining his feeling more than the actual look of the character. Like, I feel majestic right now.
It was more of a self-description than like anything about Frank.
Yeah, I would hope. So,
So
anyways,
so basically, he looks like a freshly brushed horse.
Yeah, he stands like
you go.
proud on the top of the building,
Like a stallion.
like a stallion, like
An
Mufasa.
Italian stallion.
he's Italian, exactly.
That's it. Whoa, listen.
So, anyways,
He's
Yeah.
from Brooklyn, too.
Let's bring it back around.
All right.
Serious
More
business.
New York
Serious-
Comic-Con
More
news.
Comic-Con news coming at you, Don. What do we got next?
Marvel has announced a
Should I do the
new
whole show
comic
like this, guy?
series. What?
Should I do the whole show like this, where it's like I talk, Don? What do we got next? Bring it up. What do you got, baby?
It might bring some new life to the show. I'm not gonna
Some
lie.
energy. How about some energy? All right.
That first
hit me
half of
with
the
it.
show,
Hit me
we
with it.
kind of needed it there.
All right.
So,
It's only an hour and 12 minutes in, folks.
so Marvel announced today that there's a new comic series coming in January, written by Charles Soule.
So,
However you like to pronounce it, Bill.
Soleil.
That's titled Obi-Wan and Anakin, and it's going to
The
follow.
adventure continues.
Yeah, and it's going to follow a 13-year-old Anakin,
13-year-old Anakin.
and it's just going to,
Him and Obi. Just
I think it's
chilling
gonna
on the road.
go more into the, the change of Anakin and like through flashbacks.
We're going to get those dark days where he started to turn into a D-bag.
Yeah, so like that's always a problem I've had with
Sure.
the movies that
it's a
where
big
it's like
problem
it's
everybody's got.
it's like it's cool that Anakin becomes he's such a cool character, such a nice character,
Well, yeah,
and then
nice
he ends
little
up
boy.
becoming
You know,
Darth
yeah,
Vader.
evil.
And it just
Who-
seems like a bitch boy in between.
Right.
Well, I think that was on part of the actor really more than anything.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's a bad
But-
actor, bad director kind
Yeah.
of thing going on there.
But
But ultimately,
same.
what comes down to it is that, like, you don't. It's like, where does this evil reputation come from? Almost, it's
And
like,
that's a problem with Darth Vader in the original
True.
trilogy. Also,
it's
that
not established. It's
you know.
just everybody fears him. He's
Yeah.
just the worst ever.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I mean, it's
Don't have to explain it, I guess.
yeah. There's not aside from I know we've spoken about this
Yeah.
privately. I don't know if we've said it on the show, but aside from the scene in I think it was I don't know. I forgot which movie it was, but the scene when Anakin fucking kills like
Star
the
Wars music over there.
Yeah, I was waiting for a little space.
It's cool. Because I was gonna say, as he's, I'm gonna edit that all. Sorry, you can talk over it, buddy.
Yeah, it's been a while, so
I was figuring he would noodle while you were thinking.
yeah. So the only scene that I can think of from all 6 movies really that makes you think that Darth Vader is really this bad
Yeah.
person is the scene when Anakin kills like that little group of young Padawans.
Oh yeah.
And,
Well, that's it. Yeah, that's like his
you know.
big claim to fame. Is like, granted, that's pretty messed up. Kill a whole room full of kids,
Yeah.
but like, it's not like anybody sees any of it. It's only then mentioned. Like, you could miss.
They
that.
didn't even show it in the movie.
That's what I
I
mean.
mean,
like,
what
you
the
could-
fuck?
That's what I mean. Exactly, is what I mean. Like, he just kind of walks into that room. And it's like,
Yeah.
uh-oh, and then like later on, it's a line of dialogue,
Yeah.
and that's it. Like, you know what I mean? It's like we can't push the fact that, because it's toy stuff and it's all about the merchandising, especially back then. It's like, the adults will get it. The adults will
Yeah,
get it.
yeah.
So let's not beat it over the head. We'll make it a line of dialogue. And then
No,
everybody's ready to
I
go.
understand that too, though. I mean, what do
But
you
anyway, no, but you're absolutely right.
So,
we need a book like that. We need something.
it's a
to
cool
kind of
book
fill
that I'm
gap
probably
and
gonna like.
explain his evil.
I like that writer a lot.
Yes,
So-
we do. He's approved. He's TPC approved.
I don't know if this came out of Comic-Con, but
Mm-hmm.
official Ant-Man 2
Yeah,
has been
Ant-Man
officially
and the Wasp.
Wow.
named, and the name will be Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Ant-Man and the
okay,
Wasp.
cool. All right, so now
So that'll be
that's
coming in
gonna-
2018. I
Yeah,
think.
so that's got to tie all in with Wasp being part of the Avengers.
It's all rolling.
It's all
into that.
rolling in.
And
I'm pretty
one-
sure she's like confirmed for a
Yeah, she
for a
is.
cameo in Civil War also. So
Oh, okay. All right.
I would think so.
yeah.
Sure. That makes sense.
So that
All
that being announced kind of
Mhm.
screwed around with the entire like Phase
well,
3
that's what
lineup,
everybody wants to say about that.
and I
but-
kind of wanted to
hit that a little bit.
hit that a little bit because Marvel announced 4 new untitled films
Right.
to I guess it's going to be Phase 3. I don't know. They have it dated in 2020.
Okay.
I don't know if that's going to be Phase 3 or maybe
Beginning
Phase
of
4
Phase
if there
4.
is going to be such thing.
Right.
Which
There's a
I'm
lot
sure
of
there
talk
will be.
about this whole shuffling around, and people want to try and be like, "Oh, I'm not getting my Inhumans now because they made room for Ant-Man." And meanwhile, it's like, well, if they hadn't gotten Spider-Man, they wouldn't have been so willing to fucking shift around the whole thing anyway.
So it was like Inhumans was like, there's a rumor going on Twitter that Inhumans was canceled,
and dead.
And people actually, I kind of believed it a little bit because, you have this where they added a new movie that they're kind of expediting. It's like they just announced it.
You mean the
Ant-Man, they just announced it like yesterday or 2 days ago, and they have a date for like 2018 or something like that. So I'm sure that'll, start production within the next year or so.
Yeah, that's fast track.
And then you have Captain Marvel, which gets moved back,
right? That's getting pushed.
Almost like half a year, and then Black Panther gets pushed up a couple months also.
Yeah.
So, to think that the Inhumans movie was canceled, without official knowledge of it, you might believe it. But the sources just weren't there for me. And it was just shiesty.
To me, it just kind of felt very vague. And as much as that site like Bleeding Cool likes to run with that stuff as soon as they get it, especially when it's about turf war within Marvel.
Right.
That's
right,
what kind of they were alluding it to.
Yeah.
The TV department and the movie department are butting heads now. It's just like it just pushed Inhumans now are pushed.
Makes good news, so why not post it up?
But all it really comes down to is just Inhumans is not going to disappear. It's just pushed further back, and it's just it's they're back on the moon. They live on the moon. They went back.
Right.
Just it's not on the horizon for now.
Right.
And not for nothing.
That kind
no
of thing.
big deal. It's the Inhumans.
Right.
Everybody's kind of resisting it anyway.
It probably got pushed back because it's probably going to be the least classic superhero-y of the movies.
Exactly.
So they were, you know what, we're rolling right now.
Yeah.
Things are going well, so maybe we shouldn't upset the apple cart.
The thing with Inhumans is that it ends up being almost like an opposite of Guardians of the Galaxy, where it's not goofy. It's going to be like it's like Game of Thrones in space.
Right.
It's like a royal family on another planet that comes. You know what I mean? It's like you got to set that shit up for that shit to sail right.
Yeah,
you know
that's done right. It's going to be a good movie for Marvel because it's going to paint them as changing things fresh.
Sure.
Yeah,
and
it's just
it
would be.
And if the property was so good, it wouldn't have been at the back end, and they wouldn't have just shifted it around like
if
there's nothing.
they
Bang,
get
bang,
bad,
bang, right
if
there,
they get bad response this coming summer on the movies, then maybe they'll push that up again.
Yeah,
just because then maybe we got to keep things fresh.
Yeah.
So it could these things change.
Anything could change. Anything could change.
And like you said, like with the Guardians of the Galaxy thing, like they're kind of like an anti-Guardians of the Galaxy,
Right.
and it's like if I'm Marvel, I want Guardians of the Galaxy, whether it's 3 movies that they do for that.
Before I want that,
I want that entire series wrapped completely before I put the Inhumans on the screen. Like in there, like their own solo movie. You know what I mean? Maybe have them pop in like in the Infinity War shit because you're probably going to need, not to get too technical, but you're probably going to need an Inhuman character to.
I thought he was pooping his pants or something. You tell me all right?
I'm good.
But you're probably
going
to. I'm only fucking around.
You're going to need an Inhuman to take care of Thanos.
I'm
kind
of thinking that the Inhumans are going to get introduced at that level.
Yeah.
Once we get cosmic with the next 2 Avengers movies, and then the movies will set up the Inhumans.
Right. So moving forward,
forward,
Bryan Cranston came out and actually
Bryan Cranston
voluntarily said
the Breaking Bad guy,
the Breaking Bad guy.
the guy who
that guy, Mr. Heisenberg himself.
Mr. Heisenberg.
Yep. He said that he really wants to play a Marvel villain.
Right.
But there's a catch.
Uh-oh.
It's not a classic Marvel villain that me and you know and love.
Right. Which one?
He wants Marvel to create a brand new character for him. So, I mean, I think this guy fucking sold a few things in meth in his day. It got to his fucking head, and he thinks who the fuck he is now.
I think this guy's misunderstanding the situation.
Yeah. This is not Brian.
Now,
buddy.
if Brian would have said, I want to be Norman Osborn, then I would have said, Brian, I fucking love you.
Brian, I'll give you a back rub.
Brian,
you can have just about any
what's
role
his
you
name?
want.
Mr. Lizard.
Yeah, Vulture. He could be anybody.
Right, yeah, he could,
But that's the thing. Like, I think he doesn't realize that, that's not the way it works, number one. Number two, you could just have your pick of the litter probably. If he came to them and said, guys, I want in, they'd be like, let's fucking shift all kinds of shit around to get you in here somehow.
Right.
It's okay.
Well,
you want to be the old Nick Fury? You'd make a great old Nick Fury. A little tall, a little thin, but you'd be all right.
Oh
Right.
no, Marvel was like, listen, here's like what we got, like 500-600 characters you can pick from.
That's what I'm saying. Pick out the big book.
You pick one out, we'll figure out where we're going to put you. We'll pick a movie, and we'll work you in there.
That's what I'm saying.
And I
You
think
know?
there's not one Spider-Man character that comes to name that he wouldn't be able to play.
Yeah.
They're all old, bald, white-looking dudes.
Yeah, that's true.
So
He could
any
be
of them, he
Tombstone.
could. Any of them, he
And,
could
and
be.
they're all science guys, so they're all.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Or even on the mob
Exactly.
level. He could play Tombstone. who's
Yeah.
like,
You know what?
his
Actually,
makeup and fun
I
involved
think
in
what
that.
actually might be good for him, but it would be a little bit different.
Hey, hit me.
Craven.
Craven the Hunter.
He was the
one.
one character that I had in mind that I didn't think he could play.
Well,
I could
just
see him
think-
playing like
You'd
I
have
could
to
see
play
him
him as a
playing
different. He
Kingpin
couldn't be
before I could
buff.
see
You know
him.
what I mean? He would have to be a
You
different
could-
kind of
You'd have
hunter.
to play the whole
Right.
thing differently, but I
Right.
mean,
I could see him playing Kingpin.
I could see him playing a Kingpin. I could see him playing a mob. I could see him playing the
Really?
Hammerhead.
See,
as long as we don't
after
put the
saying
Hammerhead
he
thing
could
on.
look, didn't have to look to play Craven.
Well, it's a
how's
different
he
type
gonna
of
look like
look, though.
Kingpin?
Craven is like a darker skinned guy who is very rugged looking, and he's a
very-
intense.
Yeah, so he
you know, he's,
overdoses
and he's
on
a.
some
I
melatonin.
think he's
and-
got more physical intensity going on.
That's what I'm trying to say. Like, you know,
He
even
looks
though
like a guy
even
who-
though Wilson Fisk is a character that's, you know, fat,
right.
I think if you have an actor like Bryan Cranston who kind of has that, like, you know, older veteran mob type of look, I guess if you
Yeah.
put him in the right suit,
Right.
he could look like the Kingpin to me.
Whereas Craven
and I'd be
looks
fine
like
with
a
it.
guy
Yeah.
who like doesn't just.
I think
Craven
the
the
best
Hunter.
actor for Craven would be like Jason Momoa, but you know that ain't
Yeah.
gonna happen.
Andrew Dice Clay, I think, would make a great Craven.
I don't think so.
No,
Actually, you know,
It's prime.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
prime.
He would. Yeah, he's getting a little old, a little long in the tooth now for the role, but I think he
well,
could do
I'm
it.
Craven.
Craven some
Hickory
cookies.
Dickory Craven, ho!
All right, cut that all out. I'm only kidding. No, so but anyway,
You said it now. So.
Now I got to do it.
Yep.
Oh boy, well, what if I don't do it though?
Are you talking?
Oh, I was just to myself, I guess.
Well, what are you going to do, Bill?
So anyway,
I mean, that's really about it
no,
for
but
you know, that.
I want Cranston in this somewhere. That'd be cool as hell. I mean,
Yeah.
come on. Even if he
Yeah.
just does like a thing like what's his name did.
Well, if-
Robert Redford, where he's just like, you know, some shield or some government guy on the higher up, but he's not even like a physical threat himself. Like that would be cool still.
Well, how about this? If nothing else,
Yeah.
when Stan Lee dies, he could take up Stan Lee's role in the movies.
Work on your Stan Lee impression.
Dress
He's
him up
getting
like
up there.
Stan.
Put
Yeah.
those glasses on him.
He's
Not for
like
nothing.
89 years old.
Put the
Stan Lee.
glasses and
he's,
a-
you know,
and a
he's
fake
getting
mustache.
fragile. You know, so
What else from the land of Comic Con?
yeah.
Anything? Anything?
Nothing really. I mean, I just saw this picture of a pretty awesome cosplay.
Oh,
I don't know. If I wanna,
We're gonna
you guys
share
wanna-
visuals.
you guys
now?
want to check that out? It's pretty good.
Oh, that guy's been doing some push-ups. Yeah, there's a the DC Trinity
Padding.
of
It's all
Batman,
padding.
Superman, and Wonder Woman. That's actually a pretty good. cosplay.
Steroids.
Not
He's
that
on the
no one
juice.
can see it. So,
So what? I mean, you know,
Walking
we're
Dead.
pretty geeky. So
Yeah. What about what?
we like The Walking Dead, but
Yeah, but
we also like comics.
yeah,
And this was a good week for comics.
this was a good week for comics.
Was there anything that you read? If you ended up finishing anything that you
I read some stuff.
that stuck out in your mind that
I
you
read some
liked a lot?
Are you talking about this stack of comics? I got it right over
I think
here.
you got one right to your left.
I got a little stack of comics.
I think
that we
you
can
do.
discuss.
How about
Talk
you
about
do a
it.
little show and tell here
We'll break it down.
for the
Break it
studio
down
audience?
for the people, the studio audience.
Wait, we have a studio?
We have an audience.
You know, you just people could think. People could think. They don't see us, so they
that's
could.
true. We
they
tell
could
them to be
think.
quiet. This studio audience must remain silent at all times.
Exactly. There's a sign up on the right.
Quiet recording.
Exactly. It says keep off ground under repair. also.
So we'll go through it kind of quick, but I know you read this one. This
Train
is
Called Love. That's from
Train
Garth
Called
Ennis,
Love
right?
by Garth Ennis, the guy who wrote Preacher. It feels very much in that tone where it's like a lot
Not
of...
to get into that too much because I don't really know what it's about yet.
Recall on
So
that's a little loose for me too, but it's madness. It's shenanigans. It's foul language.
it's Garth.
It's Garth.
It's Garth.
Amazing
It's
Spider-Man
Ennis.
number 1.
It's
Did you read
Garth
this?
Ennis.
I did read it.
Amazing Spider-Man number 1. Did you read that?
I did. I read Amazing Spider-Man number 1, but that's by Dan Slott, right? My
By-
boy
by
Dan
Dan
Slott.
Slott.
I liked it. I mean, I thought it was, I liked the Spider-Man, like the Amazing Spider-Man stuff by Dan Slott. So, for anyone who didn't buy this past week, this is a huge fucking issue. Like
Thick.
like the actual book itself is a huge issue. It's probably like the same
it's
size as like
$6.
it's like a 100-page notebook that you would buy.
That's $6 for a number one.
And it was $5.99, and I'm okay with paying $5.99 for a Amazing Spider-Man #1 that's
all-
oversized. Like it says on the front of the cover, that's
Right.
written by Dan Slott.
Right.
That is the Amazing Spider-Man, but
Right.
not only 40 pages of the Amazing Spider-Man
Right.
#1, and then
then
have 60 pages of these
Previews.
of 5 other stupid Spider-Man titles that are
3-page previews
that are in the
of
back. And it's
all
just,
these other Spider-Man books
I
that
mean,
are coming out, and it's like what if?
So what you're saying is it's still about a 22-page issue, but it's got like another 40
basically-
pages,
Marvel
20
guys
pages
are-
of ads for their stuff, and then 20 pages of actual paid ads.
Exactly. Yeah,
Exactly.
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 what I was
And
gonna
they're
say.
charging you $6 instead of what is the usual price now? $3.99. And on #1s, it's usually another $1.
Depending though, yeah, usually right.
Depending.
Right.
So-
Sometimes the #1s they go a little
So
thicker.
they're giving you a regular size comic that they normally would charge you extra for to begin with, and then they charge you an extra $1 on top of it because they put oversized on the cover.
yeah. And hey,
That's what it comes down to.
I'm not one to usually
Not good, Marvel.
complain
Thanks,
about
Disney.
I'm usually not one to complain about like the price of comics, just because I think it's if you have a
But when they
hobby,
do stuff like
if you have
this,
right, exactly, if you have a hobby like I do, and I love because I love reading comics, I'm not going to complain about the price of them. You know what I mean? Like I'm not going to stop reading comics just because of
but
because
it
they're
becomes-
$4 as opposed to $3.
Right. Once it starts coming down to, do I
but this shit
need that
is like
hamburger or do I want
annoying.
that #1? Then
Right.
you're going to get upset.
Well, I hope that I never get to that point in my life.
But that's a hard. But what Bob's pointing out basically is like I was talking about Sacco last week about. It's basically like it comes down to dollars and cents and stuff. But it's in that regard, and it comes down to things like this. Then these backstories shouldn't have been.
That's
bunch
the
of,
only problem I
should
have
gotten,
with it.
This is like 2 issues. This is like a double sized. This is
Yeah.
almost a double sized issue.
Hey, they give you a double-sized Spider-Man issue, but they also give you $3 of stuff that you didn't really want to
How
buy.
long this actual Spider issue is? This Spider-Man part is. But and then look, these other samples, these books. Granted, it's personal taste, but I
didn't enjoy. I read all of them, and I didn't enjoy any of them except maybe like a little bit of the last one, which they saved for the end because it was Miles Morales,
right to try and get you to go.
which is a book that I'm gonna probably pick up, and I like that it was in there. But I'm gonna read that issue anyway. So why did you have to fucking put it in the other one?
Right. If anything, if
It's
there's anything
unnecessary.
spoilers in there, you ruined it for me.
Well, that too, and it's basically unnecessary because it's chances are anybody that's reading this that is going to get hyped to this other shit was probably going to pick up these other books. So on to a better book, Southern Bastards.
Yes. Did you actually read it?
I actually read it.
It's fucking amazing.
Right?
That was the best. I think that was the best issue of Southern
one of the
Bastards.
best single stories.
Yeah. And the weird
It looks
thing
like
is,
we're gonna get
it's
some more of this
technically an
guy.
origin story.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's what that is.
Yeah.
That is a character probably that you're going to get as
A
the
lot
main
of-
character
yeah.
going
Forward
forward.
for-
Yeah.
Couple
Definitely, he's definitely going to be shaking something up.
Because at the end he says, "I'm going to kill
I'm going after Coach.
kill the coach." So-
And with that, it's like
I loved it. I read it this morning and I was just like, "Wow!" I saved
actually-
it for the last. I, had
I
like
actually
20
wasn't too
books.
crazy about it because it was a story. It was an origin story.
Yeah,
I opened that up having waited like 2 months for it, and I wanted to jump into a story that I
Right,
knew.
right.
Now I was getting a new story, so I was a little disappointed in that. I mean, am
But
I
once it
excited
comes
about where it's
around
going to
the
go?
end- right,
Yeah.
but once it comes around to the end, then it
Then it's
kinda
like, okay, well, yeah, now I know where it's going to go.
Right.
This-
So coming
so-
into it, I can see the same thing, like being like, okay, what's going on here? It's another detraction from the main storyline,
Right.
But it's just that, well, no, you have to meet this guy because he's going to be important,
Right.
moving
And I got that too, and that's
forward.
why.
By the end, by the end, it all kind of comes together.
No, I do see that. I agree with that. But that shit in the beginning with him like talking about like the country and shit, like I thought that was awesome. Like that's something that like you don't see a lot,
Yeah.
like in comics. Like
Certainly not in
someone
comics.
like this,
Yeah,
Yeah,
talking about his life
Right.
as
It's
a
definitely-
country, as a hick, like he's just
a woodsman,
living in the woods,
off the grid,
eating squirrel
Squirrels
dumplings,
and-
and
Right.
killing deer,
and then being,
and then he actually works for
it's
the
like swamp people.
for the boss, right? He works for the coach.
Yeah.
They don't get specific, but he's
Do
but
favors
they're
for
like,
Coach.
you work for him, you've done this, you've done that. So he must
Yeah.
have his hands dirty with that. But his hands, for the most part, he's like the snake wrangler at
He's a teacher in a preacher at a church that worships God.
He's a
through
deacon.
Snakes.
He's a deacon.
He's a
He's a
deacon.
deacon, and
It's a church that worships
they do the
worships
snakes and
the
the,
Bible
But they're not-
through
yeah.
the use of snakes, with the use of snakes.
It's like a
trying to remember the name of the actual sect.
Yeah, it's that's like a born again type of thing.
You know, or whatever the hell it is.
But it's definitely
Well,
extreme.
in that book, that and within the religion, like the reason for using the snakes is to show that you have the serpent, which is like
Right,
the
a symbol of
opposite of
evil.
God,
Right.
and if you could have it wrapped around your body without it
Right,
killing
'cause-
you or
'cause,
taking control
you
of
have
you,
the
it's
protection of God.
you have the protection of God, exactly.
Yeah,
And that's how it's used in that book, pretty much.
right.
But Billy's rereading it as it looks.
I'm just gonna
He's rereading the entire issue. He hasn't said a word at all.
That kid who gets
podcast
bit,
going
I
on
felt
over
bad for. It's like, I'm all right. He's all like bent
Yeah,
up.
yeah,
and
Yeah, that was great. That was funny.
Look, he gets bitten, and when he finally gets get up, he's like, "No, I'm fine. I'm fine."
Yeah, and then at the end, the next time you see him, he actually is fine. But
Did you read Doctor Strange?
I did read Doctor Strange.
I
number
know
one.
Bob
So
read
did I.
Doctor Strange
Yeah.
too. So this was kind of fun, man. I was very surprised.
I liked
not
it,
that
but
I was very surprised.
Yeah,
I'm
he's
hyped.
not-
I'm hyped for this.
He's not so uptight anymore.
Right.
They actually
that's
made
Jason Aaron also, though, right?
Yeah, this is our boy Jason Aaron.
That's Jason Aaron writes Southern Bastards also, man.
Mhm.
So
he's good.
you're gonna get good story, gonna get good scripts and shit. But the only problem I had was the artwork was kind of. I liked the artwork. I thought it was good,
It was crazy,
but
though.
it was just like all over the place.
Yeah,
Like,
it
and
was
it was
a little hard to
unnecessary.
follow
Some of it was unnecessary.
the flow.
Yeah, he's really. You're gonna have to.
You just got to start from the upper left and keep moving.
Well, that too. But I was
You
just
know?
gonna say, it's basically, it's gonna be like a little bit of an adjustment because I'm sure this guy's only gonna get weirder, or it's gonna get a little more fantastic with his layouts, because that's how Chris Bacalo, that's how he runs. And this is gonna be a book that's gonna really, by nature of it, allow him to get crazy. So.
Exactly.
It's one of the reasons why I was psyched for it. But Bob's got was making a good point there that it's not stuffy Doctor Strange that you remember. It's accessible. It's
Yeah,
not
it's-
like impenetrable kind of like
Right.
highfalutin.
There's a
stuff
touch
you
of
might
Tony
think it'll
Stark
be.
in him.
Yeah, there's
There's-
a cockiness.
Yeah, and things don't have to be perfect.
Right.
You know?
And obviously that's the thing too because
Yeah.
as you read it, you'll start to see that
The old Doc Strange, everything was high. What do they call it? High English,
it felt that way.
and
I'm like, this guy's from
everything
New York
about
City,
what
though.
he
What's
did.
going
You
on?
had to say the spells perfectly for them to work, and they had to be done in like Latin and stuff like that. Now he's just running around, and if he's like, 10, no, 12,
Yeah.
you know,
He's
and, he's
cleaning up the mess as
and
he
the
goes.
spell still comes off, and so he's not infallible, uptight, pull a pin out of his
So
ass
grab
with
these
a
other
tow
ones.
truck kind of guy anymore.
Right.
So, Secret Wars, Dom.
Secret Wars was excellent.
Secret Wars has been good. The main book on Secret Wars has been really good.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to get too deep into that because it's just
It's a
something that's
wormhole. I mean,
it's
it's
something
just-
that you have to be reading to really understand.
But the main book, not so
that's
much
good.
all the tie-ins, but
Yeah, just the main book.
The
Don't
main book,
even
it's
if you're looking to get into it, just read the main book. The tie-ins are just absolutely absurd.
I thought
And
this was going for 9. This is going for 9, right? Issues.
yeah, they must have.
They just haven't changed the numbering, probably yet.
Yeah,
All right, yeah. So it's 6. Issue 6 is the recent one, and that's going to go for 9. So other than that,
Survivors Club #1. Meh.
Man, I like the idea, but it just kind of felt rough. I don't know if this is the first writing for comics that this person's done.
Yeah,
It kind of felt like it was missing some clearer transitions, and dialogue was a little clunky. But there was good ideas here. So Survivors Club, basically the idea is like, like all these people who survived the end of horror movies. Like, okay, let's say they all lived in the same world, and they all kind of got drawn together. Like,
yeah.
there's
So
a story bringing them together. Like,
yeah, so but it's like a real life thing where it's like it follows like 7 or 8 people who in the year it takes place currently in 2015, but
right, in 1987,
it,
each
like,
of them had an incident.
yeah, in 1987, each one of them had like a crazy thing happen to them where that would happen like at the end of a horror movie or something
Right,
like that,
right,
and they end up surviving it. And there's like something with the video game. I don't know. It kind of didn't really gel together really well. There's a
Yeah.
really mysterious guy in it that ends up killing like an entire park of people.
Yeah, well, he's like the guy who doesn't show up for the meeting.
Right.
I feel
Yeah.
they don't really say that outright, but that's the way it's kind
Yeah,
of.
no, I gathered that, but I just
But I agree with you with the video game thing. I feel like that was definitely where the story itself, like the dialogue and some of that stuff, like I said before, was getting kind of clunky. But that right there, once they brought in the video game, I'm like, anything that might have been a horror element to this is now kind of gone out the window a little bit because it's like once you bring a video
Yeah.
game in, it's like Heroes. Like Heroes now with the video. Did you?
I don't watch Heroes.
Okay,
No.
good. Lucky you. Lucky
I
you.
tried, like I said the other day. I
I mean,
tried.
I didn't watch it this week.
Tried watching the first episode. I just couldn't
I
really.
saw that.
I watched the first episode and the second episode. I thought it was all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
They're,
I gotta give it a little bit of
rebuilding a story. You know,
It's true.
And at times the story's kind of familiar if you've ever read anything from Marvel.
Right. Well, that's
X-Men.
that's the other thing too.
But you know,
That's about it for me, man. I mean, you know.
All right. Well, The Walking Dead comes back.
The Walking Dead does come back tomorrow.
The Walking Dead comes back tomorrow.
So there was a premiere of the first episode last night at the Garden
Oh yeah, right.
in
right. I saw
Manhattan.
that. We didn't get tickets for that.
I didn't go. Kind of hate myself for not going, but
You did have an offer. You did get that connection came through your way.
no. But I just, you know, it wasn't something where like you needed an invite to go. The entire Madison Square Garden
Oh,
was
yeah.
filled with people.
Yeah, and they were like
Yeah.
broadcasting all kinds of.
Yeah, you could have
stuff
bought
from it
tickets.
all
You
over.
definitely could have bought tickets. I just didn't get around to doing
I
it.
got to see Norman Reedus drive up on the stage with his motorcycle.
Yeah, man, I saw a couple clips too, but I just didn't get to see any of the
Ooh.
episode, which
Yeah.
is what I really wanted to see.
Yeah, me too.
Hey, man, if I would have went, it would have been one less thing to do on Sunday night.
That's true. And you would have. We could have talked about it on the show. So.
We could have. Fuck.
damn.
We might have had to sign like a disclaimer or something, though.
Oh, absolutely. But this show wouldn't post up till Monday, so actually we could have talked about it.
That's right.
That's true.
Yeah. See what you did, Dom.
Oh, man.
Next year, next year, we'll-
Next year,
Yeah.
we'll do that. Yeah.
Well, I want to go to Comic-Con
They'll
next
definitely
year.
do it again
Let's-
next year.
Let's hit that real quick. Yeah, next year. Let's figure out something. Do some kind of Comic-Con related thing. At the very least, even if we don't get tickets, maybe we can figure out a way to bring some kind of recording equipment and do something annoying out front,
Yeah.
and then bother people or something.
That'll be fun.
You know. I'm not getting crazy deep on the ideas right now. I'm just saying. You know.
No,
Those
that'll
are
be
the
fun.
options.
I'm into doing
I
that.
mean, those are the
Hey,
options.
if
Either
you wear
get inside
costumes,
and we
you
just go and we have stories to tell, or we stand outside with microphones and bother people. Because to record inside is probably never going to happen.
No.
You know, not for us.
I would like to,
I could
you know,
apply, but I don't think
Not
it'll
unless you
happen.
get a press pass.
Oh, I mean, I could apply, but I don't think it'll happen.
yeah, no, I would love to, you know, just go and maybe
Yeah.
not bring equipment inside, but you know,
Yeah.
get up to a couple, you know, writers and
Mhm.
ask them a question if they have time,
Yeah.
you know, talk about it on
That's
the
it.
show.
That would be great
If
stuff.
we're still in business,
If this is still an operation that is operating at that time.
yeah.
Operation.
yeah.
The Wacky Doctors game.
Mm.
All right. I think that kind of is going to wrap us up.
Yeah.
'Cause, we're keeping this one short so people will actually listen to it.
It's under 12 hours.
You know, yeah. It's
Just fast forward to like 20 minutes in, though.
yeah. It's a slow start on this one, kids. I'll try and clean it up
Yeah.
for you. Do you feel like it was cleaned up for you, kids? Or you're thinking, wow, if that's the cleaned up version, this is some crappy show in the first 20 minutes. All right, so I guess that's it. Dom, we can find you on Twitter at
Yeah, that's-
Dom_Tory.
Yeah, and then you can
Exactly.
find Bill on Twitter at Wicked Theory,
Mm-hmm.
at Wicked Theory. And you can
Bob.
find Bob.
Here every week,
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
and we like
Yes.
that. And we like that. And
Send us emails.
send us some emails. If you are
Send us
listening to,
good
if you are listening to
emails.
this show and you've listened to more than this one episode and you have never sent an email and you are listening to the show right now at the tail end, you are still listening, send us something. Just say
Yeah,
hello.
what the fuck? What does it
Just say
take?
hello.
What does it take?
You don't even have to write a full email. Just literally send an email that says hello and nothing else.
Yeah, that'll be fine.
I will be fine with that. Just check in.
Watch,
with-
next week we're going to be reading like 70, hey, hi.
70 nothing. 70 nothing. I'll put this challenge out there. Nobody's going to be brave enough to send us an email from here and that. I'm talking to you. You hear me?
Are you talking to me?
No, not you. Not you. I was talking to
sorry.
that one person who's like.
I thought you was
feel like
talking
that
to me.
I feel like that describes me. That guy. That's who I'm talking to.
Oh.
Yeah, just send us an emails at podcast@wickedtheory.com. And, you know, it doesn't have to be anything crazy. Like,
No,
Just-
you know.
just say what's up.
Don't
man.
try and press us.
Just say what's
Send us
up.
something. Send us something, kids. And then I'm going to kick it to Bob, and Bob is going to play us on out of here.
Yeah.
free. Like us. Just remember, smile. Oh, time to go. But don't worry, we'll be back very soon. Hang on to your hats, folks, because you ain't seen nothing yet.